I'm not even a dad, and everybody keeps giving me I look like the cool dad.
That's 1000% the vibe that you give.
Etienne Maurice is an actor, activist, and the founder of WalkGood LA, a community-driven wellness collective.
I was a survivor of gun violence.
Wow.
And 11 months prior to that, I had a DUI.
He speaks openly about mental health, masculinity, and what it means to build something that gives people space to feel.
I said, we're meeting at LA High Memorial Park. Everybody dressed up in black, and about 400, 500 people showed up at that park.
Join me in welcoming Etien to the Do Tell podcast. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Do Tell Relationship Podcast. It's been a minute since I've been behind this microphone. I'm excited to be back. I have a really amazing and incredible guest coming on today, but I kind of wanted to just catch you up on where I've been at and what I've been up to. Huge news. If you follow me on social media, I just announced that I am building and creating an entire app, which has been such a long process and work and due diligence that's been done behind the scenes. And even though I feel like I have put my best foot forward and, I have an incredible team, I have an incredible developer and design team, and everything is just exactly the way I would like it to be. It's so interesting how we kind of work things up in our heads and kind of generate this fear of putting ourselves out there and stepping outside of our comfort zone. I know that even though I know that this is a solid, wonderful product that so much blood, sweat, and tears has been poured into, there's still that hesitation with being vulnerable and sharing that with the world. And I feel like, if as soon as I hit post on the Instagram, like everyone's going to see it and it's going to be this big thing, when really it's just a mellow rollout. And it's really nice to finally hear some validation and let my inner world, my friends and family and people that I see every day, and they see me running around like a crazy lady from this meeting to the next meeting, from school drop off to dinner to practice and all of the different things. And they're like, why is Nina so busy? Like, what is she doing? And so I was really, really happy to get to finally share with everyone what I've been working on. The app is called Nebby. It's a mental wellness app. And we can get all into the details later, but I just really wanted to share an update about that moment and offer a word of encouragement to anyone who might be experiencing the same thing. I feel like when you're building something and you're trying to grow something, there's so much beauty in the journey. There's so much, lessons and room for growth and experience that you get within that journey. I feel like it's perfectly fine to share and bring people along the journey with you, because you never know who you might impact and who's going to see your work and who's going to see your product and feel like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. Or, this is what I've been waiting for. Or, oh, I love how he did this or how she put this out there. You just never know who you might help along the way. So even though it's a little nerve-wracking, it's be brave. It's okay to share and let people in on the imperfections and let them see your glow up and the growth process and how things kind of come about, because believe me, there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes. And to then just come out with this beautiful, pretty product and not share how you got there, to me, it kind of plays into that whole Instagram reel, highlight reel of your life, right? This has not been a highlight reel. This has been a long journey of lots of work and time and arguments and disagreements and coming together and, figuring things out and learning and growing along the way. And so that's my little tidbit on the journey of founding Nebby. If you don't already follow Nebby, it's the Nebby Way on Instagram. And I can't wait for you guys to see the app and download the app this July. Now let's talk about today's guest. I'm so excited to have Etienne Maurice on. If you follow him on Instagram, you would genuinely think that he is one of your best friends. He's the kind of person who his energy and his light just really transcends any room or space that he's in. This is going to be my first time meeting him, and I'm able to pick up on all of that even from afar. So I'm really excited to have him share some of that in our space here on the podcast. Today's guest is someone whose work you may already know, but it's the honest human why behind that work that we're here to explore today. Etien is an actor, activist, and the founder of WalkGood LA, a community-driven wellness collective that began as a breathwork ritual during the 2020 protests and grew into a movement rooted in healing, resistance, and purpose. He's a storyteller, a truth teller, and someone who carries his family's legacy with deep love and intention. He speaks openly about mental health, masculinity, and what it means to build something that gives people space to feel and to keep going. He's been shaped by trauma, by joy, by culture, by art, and by the people who raised him. And through it all, he's remained grounded in community and committed to change. I'm so glad he's here with me today. Join me in welcoming Etien to the Do Tell podcast. Before we jump into conversation, we always have this segment. It's called Walk Away or Walk Through It, but today it's going to be called Walk Good.
Okay.
Or walk away.
Come on, play on words.
Yes.
I love that.
Okay. I really got the idea from Rob, so I'm not going to think. But that's okay. So the first question is, you book a long overdue vacation and get a last minute invite to speak at a major wellness summit. Walk good or walk away?
Oh. It depends on where the wellness summit is.
Can you make it? Can you make it vacation also?
Yeah, make it a vacation as well.
And can you bring someone with you?
Exactly. Walk good.
Okay,
Walk
we're walking good. We're going to make the best of it.
We're going to make the
that.
best of it. That's right.
Okay.
Because we're not going to turn down money.
Period. You run into someone who doubted your work, and now they want to collaborate. Walk good or walk away?
Walk good. Walk good. I'm open for collaboration. You didn't see me then, but you see me now. So we're going to walk good.
You're so forgiving.
Yeah. Have to be.
You have to be. You post something vulnerable and someone leaves a deaf tone comment. Walk good or walk away?
Walk away. I think you have to be able to. My grandmother always said, how can one learn without a teacher? And obviously they didn't have a teacher.
I love your grandmother.
Yeah. May she rest in peace.
Yes.
Ivy Ralph, who reminded me to walk good every day.
Yes.
Yeah. But in this case, we're walking away.
Okay. Perfect. I'm with you there. We're walking away from haters in the comment section. Okay. You've set a new boundary around your time and someone close to you keeps challenging it. Walk good or walk away?
Walk away.
Ooh.
Walk away.
Spicy.
Yeah, just got to walk away.
Okay.
Because I think for me, if you keep on pressing me, if you keep poking the bear's going to bite.
And you don't want to bite.
I will.
So we're going to walk away.
I know we're going to walk away.
Okay.
Walk away.
Good. Last question. You get offered an amazing role, but the character goes against everything you stand for.
Ugh.
I know. And you can choose not to answer, but walk good or walk away.
Because you're an actor, because I'm an actor.
I'm not an actor.
I know you're not an actor.
You're an actor.
I'm an actor. Walk good.
Yeah.
Walk good, because I feel like every character, good or bad, should be humanized. I feel like in the space of artistry, you have to be able to tell the story, whether it's a good or bad story. So walk good, film good, act good.
Yes, that was great. Speaking of films, before we start, I saw that you recently saw Sinners.
I did.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Wasn't
Shout
it
out to Michael
so
B.
good?
Jordan.
Oh my
Smoke a
goodness.
stack.
It was insane.
Those are the stories I want to tell. Shout out to Ryan Coogler.
It was so good. They were so incredible. And I thought it was interesting because I didn't know what the movie was about before when I went to see it.
I don't think anybody did.
I think that was intentional.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. So he's playing two characters and then like everything was just more mind blowing. It was such a beautiful film, one of the best films I've seen. And
also,
I love movies.
I like the kid with the guitar.
So good.
Yeah, I love the blues.
It was really.
I lied to you.
It was great. So I just had to. I saw it on your Instagram and I had to mention it. It was such a good movie.
Shout out to Michael B. Jordan, man. One of our biggest supporters. One of the first people to support WalkGood.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah.
Go see Sinners.
Go see Sinners.
All right. You are the person that when you walk into a room or when you interact and online and whatever you're doing, it feels like we already know you.
Wow.
It's the energy that you give it feels genuine because there's so much stuff online and a lot of it is very performative.
Yeah.
And you can tell the difference between, something that's real and genuine and authentic versus, something that's not. And that is the vibe that you give off. And so that's why I'm so excited to have you here and talk to you about so many important things.
I received that. Thank you for that.
Yes. You just got married.
Just got married. Yeah, in July it will be 1 year. Yeah, July 7th.
That's exciting.
2024 was when my wife and I, Etienne Maurice, got married in Jamaica through a hurricane.
Okay, listen. Sometimes you got to get through the storm to get out on the other side.
I said if we can make it through a storm, we can make it through anything.
Hello.
Yeah.
That's perfect. It sounds like it was meant to be.
It was.
That's very exciting. What's that first year of marriage life been like? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, the first year has really been amazing to learn my wife even in this stage of our relationship. I would be lying to you if I said every day is happy and roses. I mean, it's just not how it goes in any relationship. But I feel like when you're married, there's just like this next level. And, she and I, we're in couples therapy, which I suggest to every married couple. Even before y'all get married, go to couples therapy. And I feel like when you do that, you're like less at each other's throats. And if you have a good couples therapist, shout out to ours, Aaron Jones. What's up, man? Love you, guy. He really, really has helped us tremendously in just being more patient with each other, giving each other more grace, just finding more understanding. Because I think a lot of the times when you're trying to figure out your challenges amongst yourselves, it gets frustrating. And you can't go to your friends all the time because your friends, you don't want to trauma dump. Not that our relationship's trauma, but like you don't want to dump on your friends and have them fix, your solution, your problems. And I think it's been great to have someone help us figure it out.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I would say that therapy is huge, and the fact that you're so open and vulnerable about, the things that you're going through in your life, I think is therapeutic in itself, right? Yeah. Because it helps us all to see and to know like what's real versus what's not real. Because heck yeah, people, there are many things and we go through many phases in our relationships. I will tell you, I feel like the first year of marriage, if you're just moving in with your partner. Now, I moved in prior to my first year of marriage. So
yeah, we moved in with each other prior to our marriage too. Yeah.
I feel like that to me was the hardest part. Yeah. It was like, okay, so we're learning and figuring out how to deal with each other. I just told you how useless my husband could be when it comes to making a PowerPoint. So translate that
What's
to
up, man?
Yes, come on.
Figure out at least Canva, bro. Like
Canva.
Use Canva.
He doesn't even know what that means. Canva. If you said the word Canva to him, he would be like, ¿Qué pasó? No. So
he knows how to speak Spanish?
Oh, I can't. You know what? No, I can't. He's so embarrassing when he tries.
I tried to give it to you, bro.
No. But just like figuring out how to work together and like making all the new, just rules and like I can do this and splitting up tasks and all of those things. It can be really a stressful time. Russell and I are celebrating our 10th year anniversary in August.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
It's so funny. I always think about Michelle Obama.
I love that. Michelle Obama. Beyonce, Michelle Obama.
Yeah, oh, heck yeah. My Mount Rushmore. There are definitely two people that are on that one. So I think about her all the time whenever I talk about relationships because I bring this up often when everyone was up in arms when she said that for 10 years of her marriage, she didn't like her husband and everybody was like clutching their pearls. I was like, okay, we grew up with our parents and our parents grew up with us. We literally came from our mothers, right? And how many times can you count where she couldn't stand you and you couldn't stand her? Yeah, like, why do we have to pretend that we love to be around people and then they don't get on our nerves?
I think for me, when I heard her say that, it's like, yes, I completely get it. You didn't like your husband for 10 years. He was running the country, but for me, if I heard my wife say that, I'd feel some type of way. I'd feel a little bit hurt, just because also, I have ADHD and, we neurospicy people take things very personally,
I love that.
And I feel like if I heard my wife, and I know I get on my wife's nerves. I know I do. But I'd like to think that she likes me and that she likes being around me. And if I get any sense of her feeling frustrated or anxious with me or angry with me, like I'm always so quick to try to fix it instead of just letting it breathe. And I've learned from my therapist that, just the best option in that moment is for you to just take a breath and maybe step away for a little bit and then come back when things have settled. And then maybe she might like you a little bit more. Just maybe.
I love that. And so interesting. I mean, when Russell and I have been together, I don't know how long. I think it's 18 years.
Wow.
So
God bless y'all.
I know. Thank you. And we still don't know how to make a PowerPoint presentation. But that's okay.
Real quick, before you even continue, I want to ask, do you guys feel like there is a pressure given the fact that both y'all have platforms and you guys live such public lives? Is there pressure to like make sure that from the outside looking in that it looks good and that it looks okay?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I mean, genuinely no. Like, genuinely no. Yeah. Because we just care way more about what's actually going on in our space than what people think is going on. And we're also not very, very out public about our relationship, which is why I like commend you and other people like you, like my friend Kiera Gaines, who are showing, what marriage looks like, day-to-day life, what Black love looks like, what, real relationships look like, because we don't share as much and we have to be a little bit more private. But that's because we've been through so much in the press and media that we've had to kind of put boundaries and things around that. But I think that the thing that worked really well for us is that we are both willing to grow and evolve, and we understand that we're not going to be the same. Like, we've been together since I was 18. Yeah. So to expect or think, I don't even know who I was when looking back at the things that I was saying and doing at 18 years old, I'm like, who was that chick and who did she think she was? So who we are right now is not, like, we're worlds different than how we were before when we met, and just being open to change and things like that and working on ourselves. We don't do couples therapy. We tried it. It wasn't as effective for us as doing individual therapy.
Got it.
So
I'm doing both. Yeah,
that's
so I'm doing
great.
I'm doing individual therapy. while simultaneously doing couples therapy. And it's interesting because it's taking a lot of reflection, you know, and it's a lot of, you know, talking about. It's interesting. I talk to my friends a lot. I have like my two best friends. Well, I have three best friends. I have a lot of.
Let's
I
not put
know,
a number
I know.
on it. Let's just your good friends.
It's my good friends.
Okay.
I talk to them a lot, just about what I'm going through personally, and they're just great sounding boards, and they always give me something to think about. But it's different when you're talking to a therapist because they don't know you as intimately as your friends do, and they could really check you in a different way. Because I mean, obviously they've gone to school for it, and they know how the brain works. They know how behaviors work. But it's been difficult, you know, to kind of think through a different lens.
Absolutely.
And see things through a different lens.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's something that we all kind of struggle with, like as a therapist, because I am a therapist, and I feel like that is the thing about therapy is that it just depends on what works for the person. Like, what is the goal?
Yeah.
Let's achieve that goal. And a lot of times, therapy is not really about the individual when, in some circumstances, when you're talking about relationships. Like, I'm a marriage and family therapist, so the scope of the work that I do is like, how do we fit into this relationship, and what are we doing to contribute to the dynamics of this relationship? Right. So it's kind of like externalizing the thing and making it less about the individual and more about how and what can I do in this relationship or for this relationship to make the relationship stand on its own and be good for both people, right?
But that's why y'all didn't like the couples therapist, because you a therapist yourself. You're like, no, I already know that. I already don't try to put that on our relationship.
That's probably true. And a lot of my therapy, it's so funny because with my therapist, I'm literally just getting like, this is what's happening, right? It's like a sounding board for me. I'm like, he's doing this, that, and the other, right? Give me some validation here. No,
but that's a good point though. Like, therapy is good too, in the sense that your partner or yourself can feel validated in the choices that you made within the relationship. And validation is key. I wouldn't say it's key, but it's necessary. I would say that it's necessary to have someone to validate your experience, your thoughts, your beliefs.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times I have this thing in my relationship where sometimes I think I'm always right. You know?
Happens to a lot of us.
I know. But again, especially as an ADD person, as a neurospicy person, I'm trying to change the words.
I love it.
You know, I like to always go back and forth with my wife because I genuinely believe that I am right. And then when I'm wrong, I'll be like, okay, I was wrong, and then I'll apologize.
I'm going to challenge you for a second.
Okay.
Because it's not about being right or wrong. It's just about feeling heard and being supported, right? And sometimes, you know, just being heard and listened to and validated, like you said, validation is key. Like, I hear you. I understand why you feel that way. And, you know, I think that a lot of times, especially in my relationship early on, you know, I wanted Russell to agree with my perspective. I wanted him to see things the way that I thought that they were. And he wanted me to see things the way that he thought that they were. And that was never going to happen. Yeah. So it was more about just respecting each other's differences and opinions. And I was like, once we really settled on that, like, it changed the whole forecast of our relationship, where it's like, I appreciate your perspective. This is my perspective. How can we meet in the middle somewhere? Yeah. You know,
meet me in the middle.
Meet me, like, babe, why don't
you just meet me in the middle?
Right. I'm losing my mind a little, you know?
I appreciate that. It's something that I'm going to think more about in my relationship.
I don't know. Could help, could not.
I mean,
whatever.
obviously you do know. You know a little something. You know a lot more than me.
I just love. I love. It's just the see like how our relationships kind of change and evolve along, through time is just really interesting. Yeah, because that's why the pressure is not there in my relationship, because we've been through like so much and we have so much value in what we have, and it's just like, how do we tackle the next problem? Yeah. It's very solution focused rather than anything else. So anyhow, I want to talk about WalkGood LA.
Yes.
This was really fun though.
We just got right into it, didn't we?
I know. Yeah. I love talking about relationships, obviously. Yeah. So tell me, I heard a little story about the name WalkGood LA and where it comes from, and I would tell you, but I feel like it's better for you to like pull us in onto that.
Yeah. So WalkGood originally is my production company. Mm-hmm. So it started out as WalkGood Productions, and after I graduated college from Drexel University, I really thought about what I wanted my production company to be called. Mm-hmm. And I was on a plane coming from Prague, going to New York, and I kept hearing WalkGood. I kept hearing my grandmother tell me, WalkGood. At the time, she was still alive. Mm-hmm. And I remember once I landed back into the States, that next day I called up a lawyer and I trademarked WalkGood. And then 5 years later, COVID happened. Mm-hmm. And I felt like everybody was at a standstill. And then once the video of Ahmaud Arbery was released on social media, I just remember feeling stifled and trapped and frustrated, mm-hmm. not knowing what to do. It was like, do I stay at home or do I go take the streets, mm-hmm. go do something? And my initial thought was to run. And I, participated in other protests that were happening around the city, because then George Floyd happened, and I went to a couple protests, and one of them I went to. It was called Miles for Justice, and it was ran by Keep It Run 100, a run club in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Butter. And I remember just seeing all these beautiful Black people gathering, and they weren't just running; they were running for purpose. Mm-hmm. But the only thing was that was happening on Crenshaw was happening in the south side of Los Angeles. And I was like, no, I should do this in my community. I could bring people together in my community in Mid-City. Mm-hmm. And, in Mid-City, the intersections are, La Brea or Highland, Wilshire, in that demographic. Mm-hmm. And I reached out to everybody in my contact list. I said, we're meeting at LA High Memorial Park. And that was the park that was the park that I grew up on. And I felt like I'm going to use my own backyard to gather in my community. And everybody dressed up in black, and about 400, 500 people showed up at that park. Wow. And I remember my instinct was, all right, we can't just like run. Like, we should have like a grounding moment. Mm-hmm. We should use this moment for people to like use their voice after as well. And I asked my cousin Marley, I was like, Marley, I want to guide us in some like yoga stretches and some poses. I wasn't a yogi at the time. Mm-hmm. I'd only taken like 2 or 3 yoga classes. Mm-hmm. And I remember just seeing a sea of all these Black people doing yoga and doing meditation before the protest. And that's when WalkGood LA was started. And so we would protest every Saturday. And then as the protest started to dwindle, nobody wanted to take the streets as much anymore. But we did yoga on Sunday. So we'd protest on Saturday, yoga on Sunday, and the yoga classes started to blow up. Wow. And that's when BreathGood happened. That's what our yoga classes are called in the park, BreathGood. And Marley, she would lead the yoga classes. And that's how WalkGood started. And I remember changing my Instagram. There's a photo that our photographer, Kavi, he took where I'm changing my Instagram handle from Walk Good Productions to Walk Good LA. And that's how the
That was
community
the
was
moment.
built.
That's when it all
That's
started
when it all
happening and came
started.
together.
Yeah.
I love that idea, or when you shared, you saw all of these Black people outside doing yoga
In Los Angeles.
in LA.
Very LA.
Which is it's very LA, but also very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to a lot to who you are and your natural ability to bring people together and lead them and incorporate wellness, because that's not something that is typically done. And there's still so much stigma around mental health and wellness and yoga and all of those things, especially in communities of color.
Yeah.
So how have you found your work with WalkGood LA beneficial to communities of color and figuring out race equity, and especially exposing and sharing different mental health and wellness mantras and work with communities of color, but especially men of color?
Yeah. So, I mean, Walk Good has given me purpose. Before Walk Good, like I said, I was a filmmaker. I'm still a filmmaker, an actor. But
This is like a side. It's like a side gig.
I mean, Walk Good is something that could never be taken away from me. It's something that I built with my family, with my sister Ivy Coco, my cousin Marley, and Jay and Kavi. Like we're like legit a family building something. And I think in the conversation of racial equity within the wellness space, it propelled me to seek something within myself, but also offer it to a community that can see something more than just being on TV or being an influencer on social media. And, I think just wellness in general, I didn't see myself in that space. And, a year in building Walk Good, I got my own yoga certification from the Tree Yoga Co-op, which is also a Black and Brown led wellness organization in South Central. And I realized quickly that there were very few Black men in this space. And just me showing up and just gathering my community through this, it meant more than what I could ever imagine. And then it's made me really reflect on my own traumas that I had experienced in my own life. 11 years ago now, I had been shot. I was a survivor of gun violence.
Wow.
In Philadelphia. I was robbed from my iPhone and my wallet. In 11 months prior to that, I had a DUI, drove my car into a tree, my car flipped over, and I had microscopic brain hemorrhaging. And I had been placed on a 72-hour psychiatric hold involuntarily. So those experiences, I feel like it made it more purposeful for me to do this work because I've been through the fire. I've been through some of the darkest times of my life, but I didn't have a space like Walk Good. I didn't have an Etienne to look up to,
Right.
To see what was possible, to take a yoga class with. I wasn't taking yoga classes with Black men. It was always with like white women, and there was only like one or two Black men in that space. And so really our goal with Walk Good is to make healing accessible. And for lack of a better word, make it cool and make it so that people can find joy within doing these wellness experiences, whether it's our run club that we have every Wednesday, whether it's Hike Good that we have every first Saturday. We have all these programs that are centered around good.
Right.
Because there's a lot of bad going on in this world. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. And I feel like you saw a need for something when you were going through your experience, and you fulfilled that need. But I want to ask you, before you got to this place, what was it that helped get you through your recovery and through your tough times and come out on the other end so enlightened with so much new perspective? Because you talked about your perspective, and sometimes you have a hard time with your perspective, but it sounds like you gained so much during that time.
Yeah, I did gain perspective, but I don't think I really gained that perspective until WalkGood LA was birthed.
Wow.
I truly believe, and I've been thinking about this a lot, like after I had gotten shot and after I had the DUI, I committed to being sober. So I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking. So I've been
Congrats.
thank you. I've been about 11, 12 years sober now. And during that time, I really had to face my anxiety around, being in public spaces or going to parties, because I was coping, drinking and smoking. That was my way to really escape from what I was really going through. I was grieving. Looking back, I realized that my habit of smoking and drinking really increased after I lost my grandfather. I haven't talked about this, but when it started to become an issue, that was the first time I had actually dealt with death so personal to me, and it was so close to me. And I think I was having a really difficult time understanding and coping with that loss. And so I went to smoking and drinking. And once I got shot and once the DUI happened, I think that was the wake-up call. Because even after the DUI happened, I was still smoking and drinking until once I got shot, I was like, all right, now I really got to stop. And then I started to develop this phobia around smoking and drinking, because I always felt like something bad was going to happen if I even engaged in this act. And so I think it took me a while to kind of understand where this behavior came from. And I started to really develop these bad habits. Even reflecting so far back into high school, I was sneaking out the house. I was smoking and drinking. Those at 16, 17 years old, especially in LA, and having, some type of social status. I feel like a lot of that got to my head, and I was developing these patterns and these habits early on. And it was difficult for me to navigate that. It really, really was, because also my mom, being who she is, she's always...
You probably felt the pressure.
Yeah,
right,
definitely was feeling the pressure a lot. And it was very hard for me to let go and develop my own healing practice. And I don't even think I had the vocabulary of what healing looked like outside of going to church or going to a child's therapist. But even when I went to a child's therapist in high school, she didn't look like me. She was an old white woman. God bless her, Dr. Leader. But I don't think that I really had the tools at a young age. But now, as a 33-year-old man, I have those tools that I can pass down to the next generation and say, hey, I'm telling you, this works. This is something that can actively help you. And so I really try to implement what I know works, or what I've learned in the last 5 years of building WalkGood, to the next generation, so that they have the tools that I didn't have.
I love that. And I feel like I want to ask you about,
I know I went on a whole rant too.
No,
just
that
now,
was beautifully said. And I appreciate you for being so open and sharing all of that. I think it's really important for people to hear this, I think your experience can help a lot of people who are going through that. It's difficult to talk about grief and loss. And also, I understand now why you asked me about the pressures, because I think anytime you're growing up, and especially as a child, and your family or your mom or whomever's in the public eye, you're having to experience and deal with so many different things that we are not equipped, and our brains are not developed at that time to understand why those things are the way that they are.
Yeah.
And so it totally makes sense, your experience. And talking to a therapist at that age, when growing up in the shoes that you grew up in, she might not even have been able to relate or understand your experience in order to then help you with that. So things have changed quite drastically. We're close to the same age. I'm a little bit older than you.
How old are you?
36.
Oh, yes, 3 years.
3 years. I said a little bit.
Yeah, 3 years. I mean, well, my wife is 5 years older than me. So my wife is 38, and then I'm
she's
33.
a little bit older than you.
I know,
Like we're just a
I'm
little bit
just
older.
a little
than
bit.
You. Tiny bit. But even then, the amount of resources and the language around mental health and wellness, like my kids go to a school that is centered and focused around social emotional health and growth. Because we're living in a time now where it's going to become our greatest strength to be able to navigate the social pressures and anxieties that are placed on us. Even when I think about sports and I think about the NIL and I think about these young people who are now navigating agents and, business dealings and having to worry about people taking advantage of them, having to worry about 1 million people watching them and commenting on their play. And just everyone kind of having a microphone now, right? Imagine when we were growing up, if there was that type of microphone when we were making our mistakes and going through our challenges and our tough times, right?
Yeah.
It's the emotional and social growth that needs to happen, and that's so necessary for our young people. That's why it's so important, the work that you're doing. Yeah. If you could go back to this younger version of yourself and impart some knowledge or some wisdom onto your younger self, what would that be?
Breathe. I know that's like very simple in thought, but I think a lot of us forget to breathe before we make big or small choices. I think, and also like really think about what you're saying. I'm really trying to be cautious about not having word vomit. Sometimes when I was young, I would be very self-conscious about the just conversations, and I would overthink, and I wouldn't choose my words when they came out of my mouth. I was just so quick to respond, and something that I'm still working on. But even like now, I get so caught up when I say in between words and sentences.
I do that all the time.
I know.
Like, it's I'm working on it, but it's okay.
I know, but I think for me, I'm always cautious of getting out what I really want to say. And I think when I was young, I would always miss out on those opportunities to really say what I felt and what I was really thinking. So I would tell my younger self, take a moment, breathe, and think about what you're saying before you say it. Because you never know, it can be difficult. It can be difficult when you are overthinking and you will run yourself ragged. And I think I did a lot of overthinking and I didn't allow myself to breathe and just let it out. So that's what I'll tell my younger self.
I can appreciate that so much. I think when we are younger or when we are going through something, we don't always have those tools. Like we there's not enough lived and learned experience.
Of course. That's another thing too.
Sometimes like just chill a little bit.
And give yourself some grace. Yes. Give yourself grace. I love how that's been a topic of conversation for a lot of these younger people. And even ourselves, giving ourselves grace. We don't give ourselves enough grace.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would also be another thing that I tell my younger self. Give yourself some grace.
Okay, perfect. I love that. Just so you know, you're not alone. My husband is also working on thinking before he responds to something. His thing is sometimes reading the room, like, do I want feedback? Do I want criticism? Or do I want encouragement? Most of the time I want encouragement.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so deciphering the moment, I think is and then taking a second and then responding. Because, as women, sometimes we get really excited and we just want someone to be really excited with us. So he's been learning that, and he's also working on his low pause.
There you go. Stillness, stillness is important. It really, really is. And I think that's, and before you get to the next question, I feel like that's the frustration that a lot of us have. A lot of us are afraid to be still. We're afraid of those pauses. We always like to think that if we're in a conversation and if we're sitting eating at a dinner table, like that awkward silence. It doesn't have to be awkward. We could just be silent in this moment, looking at each other, engaging with each other. That is perfectly fine. But all of us are so quick to go to the next thing, the next moment, the next experience. There is no problem in focusing and resting in the now and just settling in the now. And I think that's what meditation is. That's what yoga is. That's what wellness is. That's what a wellness practice is to enjoy, not even just enjoy, but just to be aware of stillness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the quiet moments. I will say, as someone with 3 kids under 8.
No, you don't know what stillness is.
No, I don't need to be told to appreciate silence. Rob is laughing because I feel like once those kids hit the mix,
it's a wrap.
there is no more silence.
No silence.
And when there is, you notice it and you're so grateful.
Yeah. Gratitude.
We're almost going to be wrapping up here.
Wow, already? Dang.
I mean, it's just, I'm telling
I feel like
you're everybody's bestie.
I could sit here and talk with you for hours.
I know. Well, we're not done yet.
Okay.
So we still get time to hang. The last question I want to ask you is about your purpose-driven work, because it can be as rewarding as it is. It can be incredibly meaningful, but it can also be exhausting. How has burnout played a role in your journey? Have you had to navigate that? Or are you always just as energized like my husband, who never is tired? It's the craziest thing.
Really?
Never. Does he look like someone who's tired to you ever?
Some games I'd be like, nah, he's tired. He's tired. He's tired.
Even when I see that and I try to tell him he looks tired, he's like, no, I'm not tired.
I mean, he's not going to admit it, but we can all see it.
You know what? That's a good point. But no, he's like Energizer Bunny. Like, he has all of these things happening constantly. Yeah. And I mean, like, outside of just the sport, he's running Honor the Gift. He's creative director and running his clothing brand. And
he's doing a great job at it.
You like it?
I love it.
Okay, great.
I love it.
People think that he just has a brand and like he calls it his. No, this man is in design meetings for hours, doing all the things. I just don't get it. He's got his he's doing so many things. We have the school, digital marketing foundation, and he prioritizes his children, his marriage, and also plays in the NBA. Wow. And he's just never, like, he's just going. And he's
Energizer
always
Bunny.
Yes. So how do you manage all of these things? You're an actor, an activist. You are running WalkGood LA. You just got married. Mm-hmm. I mean, family's a huge part and component to your life. Like, how do you handle all of that?
I mean, of course, I experience burnout.
Yeah.
I do get tired. I do get frustrated. And I think how I manage it, how I handle it is really finding a practice outside of yoga, outside of community building. Sometimes I just have to just go out for a walk with my dog and just enjoy that. No phone, no watch. And that has to be like the first thing that I do in the day. But I'll be honest, like, it is really hard work with everything that I'm doing right now, building this organization. It's difficult, especially when you're trying to raise money, you're trying to get the support that you know is going to impact lives, that is impacting lives. It can be draining. It definitely can. And I'd be lying to you if I said, oh, everything is great. Everything is working out just the way it's supposed to. But life in general is hard. There's always somebody going through something way worse than you. And so I find peace in knowing that I'm doing the best I can. I find peace in knowing that I have support. I find joy in knowing that people are receiving joy through every yoga class, through every gathering that WalkGood puts together. And that keeps me going. The fact that I am providing a space with my family where people don't feel alone, when people have a space that they can call home. I think that's what reminds me that I am on the right path and that I just have to keep doing the best I can.
Doing the best you can.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Love it.
And having the support. I think being able to do this work with my family reminds me that, you know, it's not just me.
It's not all on you.
It's not all on me.
Yeah.
You know, but it does start with you. It does. It starts with you.
It's not all on me.
It's not all on me, but you know, because, I mean, but in all honesty, when you're running a business, when you're the one leading, it's easy to feel like you have to make all the decisions and all the choices, but you also have to build the leaders that work with you. Like, you can't be the only leader.
Right.
You have to...
Which is also work.
Yeah, it is. It is. But you also have to validate, you know, those who work under you, and make them feel like the work that they're doing is purposeful, and that they have that they play a big part in the empire and the organization and the community that you're building. So yeah, heavy is the head that wears the crown. My head is very heavy.
Yes, that's strong. Like, that's strong leadership. I know I said that was the last question. I have one more question for you. What's giving you hope right now, and what's next, personally, creatively, or quietly?
What is giving me hope right now? What's giving me hope right now are the kids that are coming to WalkGood. So we host a Black Men's Healing Circle called WalkGood. Yeah, and shout out to, because I'm in the company of NBA family, NBA royalty. Shout out to D Wade, who's invited me out to lead his wellness retreat, which was really, really dope. And I see that there is more dialogue and discussion amongst Black men who want to be more vulnerable and want to share their feelings and find strength in their vulnerability. And that gives me hope. And seeing that there are more young kids who are participating in WalkGood. You know, WalkGood can mean a plethora of things amongst Black men. It could be like, you know, you could press to somebody like, you good? Like, you good?
Or it could be, you good?
Yeah, or like it could be a genuine check-in.
Are you okay?
Right, and that's why we called it WalkGood.
First of all, the naming is impeccable.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
great.
you. And so even this last one that we had, you know, we had a 10-year-old, we had a 16-year-old, and we had an 18-year-old. And these are, you know, their mothers are dropping them off because they want them to be amongst strong Black men who are tapped into their emotions and want to be better. And seeing those young men be vulnerable with us, journaling, doing yoga, engaging in sound bath, engaging in conversations with other men, that gives me hope. And for the future, of Walk Good, you know, another 5 years. We're never gonna stop. We're gonna continue to go. We're gonna continue to grow. June 13th, we'll be celebrating 5 years.
Congrats.
Thank you. We have our own studio, the Walk Good Yard. So I pray that we get more memberships. I pray that more people are going to learn about Walk Good. Thanks to Michael B. Jordan and Propel Fitness Water, we now have our own studio space that we've been operating for the last year in Mid-City. So make sure to come out to the Walk Good Yard. But I want us to own the building. I want us to be able to not just lease, but I want to have more facilities.
Right.
I want a franchise. I want Walk Good to be in different cities. And I pray for a child when that child comes, you know, God willing. My wife and I are going to have beautiful children, going to have a family just like the Westbrooks.
Thank you. Very zen. You guys will be wonderful parents. So I'll pray for you as well. And good luck to you with all of your future. It sounded like dreams to me that you're working towards, and rather than goals, but like dreams, you know, and I think that that's beautiful. So
and don't give up on your dreams, y'all. Like, I think it's easy to give up on a dream, a thought, an idea.
It totally is. And it's never give up. Yeah. And they can always change and they can always evolve.
But have action behind those dreams. Work towards the dreams. Don't just dream of them, but work towards them.
Every day, little tiny small steps.
Yeah.
So okay, before you leave, I have a conversation card game, which I'm gonna give you.
Love it. Do tell. Come on, branding. Look, see this? Look at that.
Do tell conversation card game. I'm going to give you a couples edition.
Okay.
Since you're coming up on your 1 year, I probably can just give you both. But you're going to pick a card and answer the question from one of the cards.
I'll go in the middle. What we got? When was the last time you felt butterflies?
I'm so happy you got that question. I love it.
You give me butterflies inside. This isn't the last time I felt butterflies, but it was the day that I met my wife 4 years ago. And funny enough, July 7th is the day that we met.
Wow.
It's the day that I proposed, and it's the day that we got married.
I love that.
Yeah, so July 7th is our day. And meeting my wife, we met on the terrace of her aunt's home, celebrating her cousin's birthday. We had met online when she was producing a show for she's a news producer, an executive news producer for ABC, and I was promoting one of the shows, and she was one of the producers, and we followed each other on social media. And she sent me a DM. She was like, "Hey, I think you know my aunt," and I was like, "What? Who's your aunt?" Her aunt is one of my mom's best friends, Victoria Rao. Any Young and the Restless fans out there, you know Victoria Rao. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm actually going to be in LA next week for my cousin's birthday," which I was invited to as well. And I was like, "Oh, we should get together." So I asked for her number, and we met at the terrace of her aunt's house at her aunt's house. And I just remember seeing this beautiful Black woman with braids. And it was love at first sight. And I felt
so sweet.
I felt those butterflies.
Wow. And
that next day, we went on a date. We went on a jog. She was really into running at the time, and so I took her to my favorite running spot, and we went out for brunch. And
that's
the rest is history.
Yeah,
the rest is history.
That's by far the best. Last time you felt butterfly. It's much better than the last. The last time I shared my butterfly story, it was not that sweet and whatever, but it's okay.
I used to have butterflies a lot though when I would speak in public, but I've gotten so used to speaking in public and speaking to people in large crowds that I think like those butterflies have gone away a little bit. I still get a little bit of nervousness, but when you get when you start practicing in front of crowds, I think those butterflies, they start to settle.
Yeah, I totally can relate to that with you. Yeah. Well, it's been such a joy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was beautiful. This was a great conversation.
Yes, thank you for coming. I can't wait to have your wife on. Your sister on next.
Yeah, you're going to have my wife, my sister, my cousin, everybody. Bring everybody.
The whole crew out.
And then I'll just sit over there and just listen.
Yes, it was good. It was good to meet you.
Thank you for having me, Nina.
Thank you for watching the Do Tell Relationship Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you are listening to this episode and leave us a comment as well. And lastly, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email at thedotellpodcast@gmail.com or DM us at BeneXNina on Instagram. See you next week with another exciting guest.